Welcome to my series of how Notario screwed my life up. I had a client, a U.S. citizen, came to my office and she was in tears. She's like, look, I'm a U.S. citizen. I applied for my husband's green card. He came in on a tourist visa. We went down to the interview at USCIS. He just got picked up. I said, look, I've handled a lot of cases with detained clients. Let me go down and talk to him. I go down to talk to him and he tells me something that I never want to hear. He says, I told the Notario about this and she said it was quote unquote not a big deal. He tells me he's from Tonga. When he was a little kid, he entered the United States to Hawaii on a tourist visa and he ended up living with his aunt and being raised by her. When he was about 12 years old, they flew to Los Angeles to see friends and family. And when they were heading back to Hawaii, they got pulled aside and his aunt was taken into Immigration and Customs Enforcement for secondary inspection. And I guess she had an interview and he was sitting there, and after the interview, she said, no big deal. They just want me to go to a hearing and we can still board the plane and not a big deal. So he gets on the plane with her. She has some papers in her hands and she just crumples up the papers and she's like, see, no big deal. And he always thought in his back in his mind, well, maybe that's a big deal, but he didn't say anything. Fast forward, he gets a scholarship to go play football in a college and graduates from college. He falls in love with his girlfriend and his U.S. citizen wife, and they marry. He goes to Notario, he tells the Notario this story, and she's like, no big deal, it's fine. They don't put kids into deportation proceedings, it's fine. Which is complete and utter bullshit because they do all the time. He goes to the USCIS interview. He has been ordered removed because, unbeknownst to him, and he had this in the back of his mind, his aunt and him and his entire family were put into removal proceedings in Los Angeles. So he was added to her case. And he did not appear for the immigration hearing before the immigration judge because, of course, how would he know? He's 12 years old. He didn't get the notice. The aunt did. The aunt didn't tell him. So because he didn't appear, he, as a 12-year-old, was ordered removed in absentia. That means within his absence. So when he came to the USCIS interview, the ICE officer was there to execute the removal order, took him into custody, and he was being held. I said, look, what we can do is file a stay of removal with ICE. So we went ahead and filed that. That had to be based on all the totality of the circumstances and all the equities and hardship to the U.S. citizen spouse and you know, all these things. And then I had to file a motion to reopen with immigration and ask the immigration court to set aside his in absentia order so that he could adjust status. But he had to stay in jail for 3 months. The kid had no criminal record, but for that Notario, he would have had his green card. Now you're probably thinking, why? Why didn't he just get on bond? Why didn't they just let him go? Because ICE has a duty. If he's been ordered removed by a judge, ICE has to remove him. Unless, of course, we do a stay of removal, and ICE approved that. So basically, they said, yeah, we're not going to deport him, but he has to stay in jail until the case is adjudicated. This is just one of many stories I'm going to share with you and why it's imperative that you hire an immigration attorney or at least consult with an immigration attorney before you seek any immigration benefit. Like, share, and follow. I'm Gloria Cardenas, the Immigration Queen.